ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वपत्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतीर्मुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So last week we discussed so we completed this 21st shloka.
No, Prabhu, we just read 21st.
Okay. So we'll begin with this. So last week we completed Dhruva Maharaj's prayers, and Lord Vishnu is offering his. Lord Vishnu told Dhruva Maharaj that I will give you that initial aspiration which you had, and I will also give you love for me. I will also give you Krishna Prema, and I will give you Krishna Prema, and also I will award you the initial benediction, initial aspiration you had. So 20th shloka, somebody can repeat. Nanyairadishtitam bhadra
Nanyer adistim Bhadra
yadbrajishnu druvakshiti
Yadbrajishnu Druvakshiti
yatra graharkshatharanam
Yatra Grahakshattaranam
ज्योतिषां चक्रमाहितम्
Jyotisham Chakra Ahitam
मेढ्यां गोचक्रवत्सा वत्स्तास्नु
Medyam Go Chakravatsasnu
परस्तात् कल्पवासिनाम्
Parastat Kalpavasinam
धर्मोऽग्निकश्यपः शुक्रो
Dharmogni Kashyapak Shukro
मुनयो ये वणौकसः
Munayo ye vanaukasaha
चरन्ति दक्षिणीकृत्य
charanti dakshini kritya
भ्रमन्तो यत्सतारकाः।
brahmanto yatsatarakaha. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, My dear Dhruva, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the skies circumambulate this planet, just as bulls trade around a central pole for the purpose of crushing grains, keeping the pole star to their right. All the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kashyap, Shukra circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others.
So, the Lord is awarding Dhruva Maharaj the Dhruva Loka, the pole star, um, and he's describing the speciality of that planet pole star. But Lord is addressing Dhruva by the word Bhadra, oh fortunate boy. Hmm. So he says that I give you, hmm, I give you that radiant place, Brajishnu Dhruvakshiti. Brajishnu here means radiant, I think, brightly glowing. The land known as Dhruvakshiti, uh, the Brajishnu Dhruvakshiti. First characteristics of this land is Brajishnu, brightly glowing, and which is eternal. This place, Dhruvakshiti means it's an eternal place. That place of Dhruvaloka is like an embassy of Vaikunta within the material world. Therefore, it's an eternal place because Vaikunta is eternal. Dhruvakshiti also means eternal place. And third characteristic is that Nanyair, na anyair adishtitam. It is not attained by anybody else. Attained by anybody else. This is the third characteristic. And then Yatra Grahariksha Taranam Jyotisham Chakramahitam. So then the fourth point is that the zodiac of the planets, constellations, and the stars revolve around it Dhruvaloka. So the fourth characteristic is that all the different planets and the stars, they are revolving around the Dhruvaloka. Medium go chakravat, like a oxen walking around a central pillar to grind grains. Nowadays, oxens are practically not used. Previously, the oxens would be used for grinding the grains. Oxens would be used for making oil. In the beginning of this year, in Tamil Nadu, I happened to be there during the Pongal festival. The next day after Pongal, there was Jallikattu. Jallikattu is a bull taming festival which happens in different villages in Tamil Nadu. So I went to this time. I had an opportunity to see one of the Jallikattu festival firsthand. So the other devotee was sharing. He said that previously the bulls were used in the agriculture. There will also be bullock cart would be there. Bulls were engaged, but as the industrialization started, tractors became more prominent. So the bulls became jobless. And then transportation, all the vehicles came. So the bullock cart is also not there. And the people, they find it a burden to maintain the bulls. And they have come up with artificial insemination, that by injecting the cow, you can make the cow pregnant. Like they have stopped the natural happiness which the nature has given to the cow. in the act of mating with the bull. So because a man finds it that if I get a bull, then it will be a burden for me to maintain. So therefore, they have come up with artificial some injections by which the cows can be made pregnant. Actually. Hmm. So in this scenario, very few people actually they maintain the bulls. Because practically speaking, uh, there is no engagement for the bull. But still, few people maintain the bull, and the only day in the whole year where they take pride in maintaining the bull is during the Jallikattu festival. They maintain and give training to the bull so that the bull come in order to make the bull participate in the Jallikattu festival. And then in the Jallikattu festival, when the young people are supposed to tame the bull. So if the bull is nobody is able to tame a particular bull, then they feel a sense of pride actually. Oh, we have actually maintained this bull. Nobody is able to tame the bull. Then they get then others give some money to that particular maintainer of the bull. Some of course meager amount like that. So what I'm mentioning is that previously the bulls were this analogy was there, but nowadays we don't see that. Previously, bulls were engaged. So the zodiac planets, constellation, and stars revolve around it, around the Dhruvaloka, like the oxen walking around a central pillar to grind grains. Median Chakravat, Go Chakravat Stasnu. And then this particular place, Dhruvakshiti, it remains till the end of Brahma's life. Parastat Kalpavasinam. Parastat Kalpavasinam. Kalpa here refers to Brahma's life actually. Parastat Kalpavasinam. So, till Brahma's life or till the day of Brahma, till the end of the day of Brahma. So, and then the next point is that Dharmogni Kashyapa Shukro Munayo Ye Vanaukasaha. So, there are other stars like Bharani, Kritika, Cancer, Venus, and the Big Dipper revolve around the Dhruvaloka in the clockwise direction along with the stars. Charanti Dakshini Kritya Brahmanto Yatsa Taraka. So this shloka, Lord Vishnu is talking about the glory of the Dhruvaloka and he is telling to Dhruva that I am going to award you this particular planet. So I give you the residence which is eternal, possessing the zodiac belt of the planets, constellation and stars, which are like a oxen circling around the central pillar to which they are tied. This place remains fixed for the duration of Brahma's life, for those living for the duration. So then, when the universe is destroyed, at that time, Dhruvaloka does not get destroyed. Dhruvaloka, because Dhruvaloka is the embassy of Vaikuntha, Dhruvaloka disappears or Dhruvaloka ascends to Mahavaikuntha. So even though Dhruvaloka is existing within the material universe, but Dhruvaloka has the qualities of Shvetadvipa, Mathura and Dwaraka. So that is the nature of Dhruvaloka. So we will also see the one of the later verses, Vishnu Chakotipat quotes that later verses show that Dhruva attained Vaikuntha. 4.9.28 will say that Dhruva Maharaj actually attained Vaikuntha. That means this particular planet which Lord Vishnu is awarding to Dhruva Maharaj It is the representation of Vaikuntha. It's an expansion of Vaikuntha. It's an embassy of Vaikuntha. 4.9.25 and 28. Both these verses confirm that Dhruva Maharaj actually attained Vaikuntha. So Dhruva Loka is nothing but the expansion of Vaikuntha. Or it has the characteristics of Shvetadvipa, Mathura and Dwaraka. Also 4.12.26. There also it was confirmed that this planet awarded by Vishnu is nothing but Vaikuntha. It's abode of Vishnu. There are other people who say that Parastat means Dhruvaloka remains beyond the lifespan of those lasting for Brahma's life. This is another interpretation. Parastat Kalpavasina means Dhruvaloka remains beyond the lifespan of those lasting for Brahma's life, because since the planet of the Lord is eternal. So Dharma, Agni and others, they are the forms of the constellations. Like Kritika, Bharani, they are different constellations. They are also circumambulating the Dhruvaloka. Vanavu Kasaha. There is a beautiful point in the 5th canto, 23rd chapter. 1 minute. Canto, 23rd chapter is called a Sishumara planetary system. In that chapter, I think the second shloka purport, in the second shloka, 5.23.2, it is said that established by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pole star, which is the planet of Maharaj Dhruva, constantly shines as the central pivot for all the stars and planets. The unsleeping, invisible, most powerful time factor causes these luminaries to revolve around the pole star without cessation. So, Prabhupada says that in this world, everybody is under the time factor. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind and loves his devotee Dhruva Maharaj so much that he has placed all the luminaries under the control of Dhruva's planet. And he has arranged for the time factor to work under him or with his cooperation. So everything is actually done according to the will and the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But to make his devotee Dhruva the most important individual within the universe, the Lord has placed the activities of the time factor under his control. So this is a beautiful explanation how Dhruva Maharaj made, Lord Vishnu made Dhruva Maharaj as the most important individual in the whole universe, that he has placed the time factor under his control. Coming back here. Next shloka. प्रस्थिते तु वनं पित्रा
प्रस्थिते तु वनं पित्रा
दत्त्वा गां धर्म संश्रयः
दत्त्वा गां धर्म संश्रयः
36 वर्षसाहस्रम्
36 वर्षसाहस्रं
रक्षिता व्याहतेन्द्रियः
रक्षिता व्याहतेन्द्रियः. After your father goes to the forest and awards you the rule of his kingdom, you will rule continuously the entire world was 36,000 years, and all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old.
So further, Lord is saying that after your father prastitetu vanam pitra dattva gam. Gam refers to earth. So dharma samshrayaha. Dharma samshrayaha here means under the protection of piety. Okay. Prastite here refers to after your father gives you the earth and retires to the forest. Pitra, by your father, that gam datva, after he gives your earth and then vanam prastite, retires to the forest, then you will rule the earth using dharma samshrayah for shat trimshad varsha sahasram, for 36,000 years. Rakshita avyahatendriyah. Avyahata indriyah. Avyahata indriyah means with no decay of the senses. For 36,000 years you will rule and you will not become old. Your senses will be as strong as you are in the youth. With no decay of the senses, you will rule the earth for 36,000 years. And then, of course, after that, he will attain the dhruva loka. But in this world, he is going to rule for 36,000 years. So, Srila Prabhupada says here, Satya Yuga, generally people lived for 100,000 years. Dhruva Maharaj's ruling for 36,000 years was quite possible in those days. त्वद्भ्रातर्वुत्तमे नष्टे
त्वद्भ्रातर्युत्तमनयनस्ते
मृगयायां तु तन्मनाः
मृगयायां तु तन्मना
अन्वेषन्ति वनं माता
अन्वेषन्ति वनं माता
दावाग्निं सा प्रवेक्ष्यति.
दावाग्निं सा प्रवेक्ष्यति. Translation. The Lord continued, sometime in the future your brother Uttam will go hunting the forest, and while absorbed in hunting, he will be killed. Your stepmother Suruchi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by forest fire.
So Dhruva Maharaj is also, Lord is also telling about what will happen to his brother and the stepmother, Uttama and the Suruchi. Tvad bratari uttame nashte. Mrigayayam tu tanmanaha. When your brother Uttama will die while hunting. And his mother, Anveshanti Vanam Mata. Being attached to Uttama, Vanveshanti, she will go to search for his son. And then Davagnim Sa Pravekshyati, she will enter a forest fire. So here, this is an important point here. Lord is telling that because your stepmother Suruchi offended you, please hear that what will happen to your stepmother. So Dhruva Maharaj, although he initially started performing sacrifice only with the two thoughts in mind, with to get a kingdom greater than that of Lord Brahma, and secondly, he had a revengeful attitude towards his stepmother Suruchi. But of course, by the practice of devotional service, he became completely purified of both these motivations. Although Dhruva Maharaj no longer had any revenge towards Suruchi, but still, when a person has offended a Vaishnava, when Suruchi offended Dhruva, at that time Dhruva was not a devotee. But later Dhruva became a Vaishnava. So suppose you have offended somebody. At that time the person is not a devotee, but later he goes on to become a devotee. Then also it will be counted as a Vaishnava aparadh. So one gets the reaction for that actually. Therefore, one should have a cordial relation with every living entity. Basically, one should not offend anybody. Because if that person later becomes a Vaishnava, it will become a Vaishnava aparadh. So therefore, in the 64 items of sadhana bhakti, one of the item of sadhana bhakti is that not giving pain to any living entity. There may be certain practical situations where you may have to fight court case or you may have to commit a violence or something, but not with a revengeful attitude. That is something, suppose somebody is cheated, you have to put a court case, or somebody is a criminal, a police has to arrest. Those things are come as part of the duty. But with a revengeful attitude, if we offend a particular living entity, if that living entity goes on to become a Vaishnava, then one will get the reaction for a Vaishnava aparadh. So Dhruva Maharaj came to the forest to search for the Supreme Lord with a revenging spirit against his stepmother. So an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava is the greatest offense, Hati Mata. So therefore, because of having insulted Dhruva, Suruchi would become mad upon the death of her son and would enter a forest fire, and her life would be ended. This was specifically mentioned by the Lord to Dhruva because he was determined for revenge against her. From this, we should take a note that we should never try to insult a Vaishnava. Not only should we not insult a Vaishnava, but we should not insult anybody unnecessarily. So at that time, when Suruchi offended Dhruva, she did not know that Dhruva will become a Vaishnava. So her offense was committed unknowingly. So just like when you serve a Vaishnava unknowingly, then you get a Ajnata Sukriti. Similarly, if a person unknowingly insults a Vaishnava, then also one suffers a bad result. So pleasing a Vaishnava or displeasing a Vaishnava directly affects the pleasure and the displeasure of the Supreme Lord. The Bhagavatam second canto, there's a beautiful shloka. Jivan chavo Bhagavatangri renum najatu martyo bilabeta yastu Shri Vishnu padya manujas tulasya Shri Vishnu padya manujas tulasya Shvasanchavo yastuna vedagandam. So Jivan chavo Bhagavatangri renum. If a person has not smeared his body with the dust of a Vaishnava, then such a person is considered to be like a dead body, or is considered to be like a living dead person. So the best way of worshipping the Lord is actually serving a devotee, and this point is highlighted here. Pleasing him or displeasing him directly affects the pleasure and displeasure of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. Pleasing the Guru, one pleases the Supreme Lord, but if one displeases the Guru, one does not know where he is going. And further, the Lord says, Ishtva mam yajna hridayam
इष्ट्वा मां यज्ञोदयम्
yajnai pushkala dakshinaihi
यज्ञै पुष्कलदक्षिणैः
bhuktva chehashishas satya
भुक्त्वा चेहाशिषः सत्या
ante mam samsmarishyasi.
अन्ते मां संस्मरिष्यसि. The Lord continued, I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life. And at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me.
So, ishtva mam yajna hridayam. Very important word. Yajna hridayam. I am the heart of sacrifice. Yajnartat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanah tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. One should perform one's work as a sacrifice to Vishnu. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureshwarah natumam abhijananti tatvenatas chavantite. 9th chapter Gita. Krishna says that I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. So many shlokas. Shriyapatir, Yajnapatir, Prajapatir, Diyampatir, Lokapatir, Dharapatihi. Patir Gatischan, Dakavrishni Satvatam, Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. Shriyapatir, Yajnapatir. Krishna is the Yajnapati. So, I am the heart of the sacrifice. After worshipping me, Ishtvama, by Yajnaihi and Pushkala Dakshinaihi, by the bountiful donations. Because any yajna is incomplete without dakshina. Any yajna, it's not only fire yajna. There are many yajnas mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter. Any sacrifice, dravya yajna, or with Agni Kunda when you perform a yajna, swadhyaya yajna, or any yajna. Because the 17th chapter, Krishna speaks about sacrifice in Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. One of the characteristics of a Tamoguna sacrifice is that Vidihinam, Mantrahinam, Adakshinam, Yajna performed without a sacrifice, without Dakshina. So, sacrifice with bountiful donations, Pushkala Dakshinai, and Bhuktva cha Iha Ashisha. Bhuktva, after enjoying the Iha Ashisha. Iha means you will also enjoy blessings on this earth. The Dhruva Maharaj, while living here, he will going to enjoy great opulences for 36,000 years. And then he will go to Dhruva Loka, there also he will enjoy. And then he will go to Vaikuntha also. And then he says that Ante Mam Samsmarishyasi. You will remember me at the time of death. You will attain fame in this world. You will also remember me at the time of death. So the most important factor is that the Lord's instructions regarding how to remember the Supreme Lord at the end of life. Bhagavatam 2nd canto 1st chapter. Yetavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janma Labha Parapumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi. That last line of the shloka, Ante Narayana Smritihi, is quoted. So when a person performs different Sankhya Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, etc., but the ultimate perfection depends on remembering the Lord at the time of death. We can remember Narayana, the Supreme Lord. So this program of constant remembrance can be disturbed by many things. But Dhruva Maharaj's life would be so pure, as assured by the Lord himself, that Dhruva would never forget him. What a blessing, actually. So at the time of his death, he would remember the Supreme Lord, and because before his death, he would enjoy this material world. Not by sense gratification, but by performing great sacrifices. So when one performs great sacrifices, he must give charity Not only to the Brahmanas, but to the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. The Dhruva Maharaj would be able to perform such activities. Of course, in the Kali Yuga, the Yajna recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. So in this way, we shall perform Sankirtan Yajna continuously. Then at the end of our lives, we shall certainly be able to remember Krishna and our program of life will be successful. In this age, distribution of prasadam has replaced distribution of money. No one has sufficient money to distribute, but if we distribute Krishna prasad as far as possible, that is more valuable than the distribution of money. Very beautiful point. Because money, it has people may also misuse the money, prasadam distribution. Next shloka. Tato gantasi matstanam
ततो गन्तासि मत्स्थानम्
sarvaloka namaskritam
सर्वलोकनमस्कृतम्
uparishtad rishibhyastam
उपरिष्टादृशेभ्यस्त्वम्
yato navartate gatah.
यतो नावर्तते गतः. Translation. The personality of Godhead continued, My dear Dhruva, after your material life in this body, you will go to my planet, which is always offered obeisances by the residents of all other planetary systems. It is situated above the planets of the seven rishis, and having gone there, you will never have to come back again to this material world.
Tato gantasi matstanam. Matstanam, you will go to my abode, he is mentioning. That means it's Vaikuntha. You will go to my abode, Sarvaloka Namaskritam, which is worshipped by all the planets. Uparishtad Rishibhyastvam. This abode of mine, it is situated above the Rishibhyastvam. That means it is referring to the Saptarishi Loka. It is higher than the place of the Saptarishis. And then this is an important word. Yato navartate gatah. Having gone there, you will not return here. So it is not like a Swarga Loka or other planets where when the pious credits are over, one again falls down. Because Vaikuntha, the characteristic of Vaikuntha is that once a person goes to Vaikuntha, one never falls down. There is no question of fall down actually. Yato navartate gatah. So, navartate is very significant. Lord says, you will not come back to this material world, for you will reach Matsthanam. So, pole star is the abode of Vishnu within this material world. Upon it, there is an ocean of milk, and within that ocean, there is an island known as Shvetadvipa. So, this planet is situated above the Uparishtad, 7 planetary system of the Rishis, that in the Saptarishi Loka, and Sarvaloka Namaskritam. So again, somebody may ask a question, okay, when the universe is annihilated, what will happen to Dhruvaloka? Dhruvaloka remains like other Vaikuntha Lokas beyond this universe. So therefore, this Dhruvaloka is eternal because it is the embassy of Vaikuntha. So the Lord's blessings conclude here. And now, what is the reaction of Dhruva Maharaj on hearing the Lord's blessings? It's a very interesting. And based on this reaction of Dhruva Maharaj, Vidura is going to ask a question. And then the reply of Maitreya Rishi to Vidura is very interesting. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Ityarchitassa Bhagavan
Ityarchitassa Bhagavan
Atidishyatmana Padam
Atidishyatmana Padam
Balasya Pashyato Dhama
Balasya Pasyato Dhama
Swamagad Garudadvajah.
Swamagat Garuda Dvajaha. Translation. The great sage Maitreya said, after being worshipped and honored by the boy Dhruva Maharaj, and after offering him his abode, Lord Vishnu on the back of Garuda returned to his abode as Dhruva Maharaj looked on.
So, ityarchitasya Bhagavan, uh, iti archita, after being worshipped, the Lord after being worshipped, and ati dishyatmana padam, ati dishyatmana padam, atidishya atmana padam, atidishya means after offering, atmana padam, after offering his own abode, then swam agad, the Lord departed for his abode on the Garuda. Balasya Pashyato Dama, when Dhruva Maharaj was looking at the Supreme Lord. So it appears that the Lord awarded Dhruva Maharaj the same abode in which he resides. Because it is mentioned that Atidishya Atmana Padam. Atmana Padam means his own abode. Lord awarded Vaikuntha itself. That is why what in the Bhagavad Gita when it is said Yadgatva na nivartante taddama paramamam. Same word is used here. Yato navartate punah. So the nature of Vaikuntha is that one never falls from there. Next shloka. Next shloka is important shloka. Sopi sankalpa jam Vishno
Sopi sankalpajam Vishno
padasevopasaditam
Padasevopasaditam
prapya sankalpa nirvanam
Prapya sankalpa nirvanam
nati pritobhyagatpuram.
Nati Pritobhya Gatpuram. Despite having achieved the desired result of his determination by worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj was not very pleased. Thus, he returned to his home.
So, sopi sankalpajam Vishnoho. Sankalpa, whatever Dhruva Maharaj had the sankalpa in the beginning, Padaseva upasaditam. By worshipping the Supreme Lord, he attained the desired goal through his determination. Prapya sankalpa nirvanam. He obtained that. But still, na atipritaha. Na atipritaha, this is the important word. But he was not satisfied. And Puram Abhyagat, he returned home. So, na atipritaha, because if you see, in the Lord offered benediction to Dhruva Maharaj, Lord told that in this world you will rule for 36,000 years and your senses will not decay. And he also told that after that you will attain Dhruva Loka. Such a high position, all the planets are revolving around Dhruva Loka. And having gone to Dhruva Loka, you will not return to this world because Dhruva Loka is Vaikuntha only. So the Lord has given a benediction. Like sometimes, suppose if you are given a benediction, okay, in the next life you will go to Vaikuntha, but in this life you will have to struggle. Okay, there may be some reason for being not satisfied. Or this life you will live happily, but next life you will not attain Vaikuntha. That can also be a reason for distress, dissatisfaction. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Lord told that in this life you will rule for 36,000 years with by performing so many sacrifices, your body will be healthy, and the next life you will attain Vaikuntha. You will remember me at the time of death. So one may wonder, like, then why did Dhruva Maharaj why was Dhruva Maharaj not satisfied? Na atiprita. Why was he not satisfied? This is an important question. This question is raised by Vidura in the next shloka. So, Dhruva Maharaj achieved the desired result by worshipping the Lord. His desire was to get a greater exalted position, excelling that of his great grandfather. Although it was a small, somewhat childish determination, but Lord Vishnu is so kind and merciful, he fulfilled Dhruva's desire. So he was offered the planet in which the Lord personally resides, and his determination was completely satisfied. But still, Dhruva Maharaj was not very pleased. Because although in pure devotional service, there is no demand from the Lord, because of his childish nature, he had demanded something. Thus, although the Lord also fulfilled his desire, he was not very pleased. Rather, he was ashamed that he had demanded something from the Lord, for he should not have done this. He had demanded means he previously had that desire in the beginning of his devotional service. When the Lord appeared, he did not demand, but he started performing bhakti with that desire in mind. So Dhruva Maharaj is repenting further. Well, that will exact Dhruva Maharaj's thoughts will be clear in the next section. But Prabhupada is already giving the purport. Why Dhruva Maharaj was not very satisfied? So now Vidura is asking a very beautiful question. Vidura Uvacha
Vidura Uvacha
Sudurlabham Yat Paramam Padam Harer
Sudurlabham Yat Paramam Padam Hare
Maya Vinastaccharanarchanarjitam
Maya Vinastas Charanarcha Narjitam
Labdvapya Siddhartamivaika Janmana
Labdvapya Siddhartamike Mivaika Janmana
Katham Swamatmanamamanyatartavit
Katham Swamatmanamamanya Parthavit. Sri Vidura inquired, "My dear Brahmana, the abode of the Lord is very difficult to attain. It can be attained only by pure devotional service, which alone pleases the most affectionate, merciful Lord. Dhruva Maharaj achieved this position even in one life, and he was very wise and conscientious. Why then was he not very pleased?"
So Vidura is asking, so Vidura is so attentive that as soon as when he heard that Dhruva Maharaj was not very satisfied, na atiprita, based on that word, Vidura is asking this question. So Dhruva Maharaj attained the Paramam Padam, the supreme abode of the Harer Mayavina. Maya also means mercy. Mayavina Hare means the merciful Lord Hari. He attained the supreme abode of the merciful Lord, which is Sudurlabham, which is rarely attained. Tat Charanarchanarjitam, through worshipping the Lord's feet. Eva Eka Janmana, within one lifetime. Within one lifetime. And Arthavit. And Dhruva Maharaj, he knew the value of that attaining Vaikuntha. He was knowledgeable of the glory of Vaikuntha. So then why did the Dhruva Maharaj Labdva api asiddhartamiva asiddhartamiva, why did he consider himself as if unsuccessful? Asiddhartamiva. Why did he consider himself as if unfulfilled? As if unfulfilled. So here So that is the question of Vidura. Dhruva Maharaj was knowledgeable, Arthavit. And in one lifetime, he attained the supreme abode of Vishnu, which is very rare to obtain. Still, why was he not pleased? Asiddharthamiva. So the word Arthavit is very significant, refers to one who knows how to discriminate between reality and unreality. So an Arthavit is also called Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa can separate, just like a Hamsa separates the milk from the water. Paramahamsa knows the essence of life. He knows he knows how to separate the essence from the non-essential thing. Paramahamsa accepts only the active principle of everything. Just as a swan accepts only the milk from a mixture of water and milk, a Paramahamsa accepts only the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his life and soul. So the word Arthavit refers to that quality of Paramahamsa, who knows, who is only focused on the essence of bhakti. And Paramahamsa accepts only the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his life and soul, neglecting all the external material things. So Dhruva Maharaj was such a Paramahamsa, therefore he is Arthavit. And by his determination, he achieved the desired result, but still, when he returned home, why was he not pleased? That is the question. So, that now, Maitreya Rishi's reply, why Dhruva Maharaj was feeling like that, that will start in the next verse. Next verse, purport is a long purport. So, maybe I'll just recite the next verse and then we'll end. We'll discuss later. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Matu Sapatnya Vagbanair
Matu Sapatnya Vagbane
Hridi Viddastu Tansmaran
Hridividdastu Tansmaran
Naichan Muktipader Muktim
Naichan Muktipater Muktim
Tasmat Thapamupeyivan.
Tasmat Tapam Upeyivan. Translation. Maitreya answered, Dhruva Maharaj's heart, which was pierced by arrows of the harsh words of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved, and thus, when he fixed upon his goal of life, he did not forget her misbehavior. He did not demand actual liberation from this material world, but at the end of his devotional service, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of the material demands he had in his mind.
So Maitreya Rishi just says that Matu Sapatnya Vagbanair Hridi Viddastu Tan Smaran Naichan Muktipader Na Ichan Muktipader Muktim. Dhruva Maharaj did not desire liberation awarded by the giver of liberation, since he remembered that his heart had been pierced by the harsh words of his stepmother. So when Dhruva Maharaj came to the forest, so at that time his heart was completely crushed by the harsh words spoken by the stepmother. So because his heart was pierced by those sharp words, so at that time when he began his practice of bhakti, he did not desire liberation from this world. He did not desire pure devotional service. He only thing he had in his mind was a revenge and a great ambition to attain a position greater than that of Brahma. So Dhruva Maharaj remembered that previous mindset. Well, I began bhakti with a material desire. Tasma tapam upeyivan. So remembering that previous condition, remembering the the beginning condition with which he began his devotional service, he felt repentant, he felt remorse. So this is Maitreya Rishi's reply. There's a long purport of Prabhupada, we'll see next week. And then next 6 shlokas is the word spoken by Dhruva Maharaj. So those words are very profound shlokas. Some 6 shlokas are there. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, many years back, he gave some 2-3 classes on that. Maybe in 90s, 90s or beginning 2000 or something. So very profound. We will see that, discuss that next week. Hare Krishna. Anybody has comments or questions? Okay. No questions, we end here.
Prabhuji, this 4.1.13, that Brahma Sutra, that upon awakening the knowledge of absolute truth, the sins performed in the present life does not cling to any person. So, Prabhuji, even if there is a mental, like, what is the difference, fine line difference between that offense and, like, if it's offense is only for a devotee or something like that, or sin, like, you sin for a karmi, like supposing you think bad about him, or certain dealings you have to do, and then with devotees something. I mean, I'm not able to understand that offenses is only for devotees, right? Like, you should not offend a devotee. Like, if it
Aparadha is towards the Vaishnavas.
okay,
Papa is towards can be any Papa when you give trouble to any living entity through body, mind, or words, then that becomes a Papa. And through body, mind, and words, when he cause harm to a particular devotee, then it is an aparadha.
okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll end here. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौरव भक्त